Nestled in the remote Himalayan region of eastern Nepal stands Mount Makalu, the fifth highest mountain in the world. Rising 8,485 meters above sea level and touching the sky, this majestic peak is not just a mountain. It is a living symbol of courage, perseverance, nature's grandeur, and human endurance. The journey to Makalu Base Camp is not merely a journey to reach a destination. It is an opportunity to encounter the countless stories of mountains, forests, rivers, cultures, history, and human lives. From the warm breeze of the Arun Valley to the icy world beyond the snow line, from the settlements of diverse cultures, including Brahmins, Kshetris, Kirats, and Sherpas, to the rich biodiversity of the Makalu Barun National Park, at every turn, the journey unfolds with a new view, a new experience, and a new story to tell. On this journey we saw rhododendron forests adorned with vibrant blossoms, the unparalleled beauty of the Barun Valley, snow-covered high Himalayan passes, and the local customs and traditions that have remained alive for centuries. And the breathtaking views of some of the world's finest mountain ranges. But the most precious treasure of all was the people, with hearts as pure and magnificent as the mountains themselves. The village mothers who welcomed us with flowers, the local people who accompanied us with their warm smiles, the porters, guides, and helpers who never left our side, even on the most challenging trails, and the guest travelers who had come all the way from Slovenia. Come, let us embark on this journey together, through the thrilling, emotional, and unforgettable adventure to Makalu Base Camp. The flight that took off from Kathmandu at 9:30 in the morning soon touched down on the runway of Tumlingtar Airport, one of the lowest altitude airports in the world. From here, the much-awaited journey to the base camp of Mount Makalu, the fifth highest mountain in the world, officially began. Today's destination is Simma village, located in Ward number 3 of Makalu Rural Municipality.
आज हामी यो स्लोभेनियाको गेस्टहरु लिएर काठमाडौँबाट 9:30 को फ्लाइट गरेर अहिले तुमलिङटार आइपुग्यौं and Tuminta airport is 425 meters elevation and from here we start Makalu trekking.
After leaving the airport, we headed to Karua Hotel in Khandbari Bazaar. We gathered the energy for the journey over a warm morning meal, and the first leg of the road trip began. We proceeded along the Koshi-Kimathanka highway, passing through Manebanjang, Chiankuti, and Chichala Bazaar, after observing the 900-megawatt hydroelectric project being constructed by an Indian company at Paksinda Dobhan, which lies along the route. Our journey turned towards Gadi in Hedangna. Although it is a small market, Hedangna's Gadi is a place rich in history and legends. The headquarters and checkpoint of the Makalu Barun National Park are located right here. All tourists, both domestic and foreign, are required to obtain a permit to enter the national park area. After checking the foreign tourists' passports, we headed towards Simma again. Upon arriving at Simma village around 5 in the evening, a special sight welcomed me.
So Slovenia guest, special welcome for Makalu trek.
Okay, thank you very much.
So this is a Simma tourist hotel.
Local residents and members of the Mothers Group had already gathered at the community homestay premises before we arrived. Guests were accorded a grand welcome, complete with flower garlands and warm smiles, right at the entrance of the community homestay, operated by Simma Tourist Camp Private Limited. Simma, located in Ward Number 3 of Makalu Rural Municipality, is truly a picturesque village. Here, alongside the operation of well-organized homestays, coffee cultivation has been expanded, in line with the concept of agritourism. Additionally, the Makalu Barun Community Dental Service Center has further enhanced the special nature of this area. After dinner, the team leader and company managing director, Lucky Sherpa, presented the schedule for the following day.
If there's no snow, we can go this pass route easily because this route is very nice view to see all Himalaya from Baule Pass at this time.
After that, the stationary items and clothes brought by the guests for local students were distributed collectively. The final phase of the program was even more intimate and unforgettable. A local cultural group welcomed the guests with their traditional music and dance. Even though the lyrics were not understood, the melody, rhythm, and enthusiasm of the song united everyone. Even foreign guests mingled with the locals, dancing, having fun, and laughing, fully immersing themselves in the warmth of the village. Today's destination was Ekuwa village. After breakfast, the porters began arranging their loads. The guests also set about preparing for the journey. Since today's journey was not very long in terms of distance, the walk started somewhat late. After exploring the old market of Simma village, our journey continued uphill. Glimpses of Nepali rural life visible along the way were being captured on everyone's cameras. After traversing the continuous uphill stretch from Sisne to Chumlung and Gumbadanda, there was an opportunity for a brief rest. Gumbadanda is also known as Nurbugao. From here, one can enjoy a captivating view of Ekuwa village. After heading to the right from this very ridge, we reached Ekuwa village in the afternoon. Upon reaching Ekuwa, I was welcomed by a heartwarming scene, much like the one in Simma. Local residents, school students, and teachers were lined up, waiting for the guests. Guests were welcomed with a performance of the Sherpa community's traditional cultural dance. After that, gifts were distributed to local children on behalf of the guests. After the program concluded, some of the porters amused themselves with sports in an open field, while others busied themselves arranging accommodation in local homes. The stay in Ekuwa village was also delightful. The kitchen team's day began early and busily. Just as always, breakfast and packed lunches were prepared for the group. After the distribution of food, the next chapter of the journey began. The plan for today is to head towards Sedua via Tashigaon. In fact, the original plan for this trip was to use an alternative route to reach Makalu Base Camp via Bole. But the group decided to return towards Sedua after the route over Bole Pass was blocked by heavy snowfall that occurred unexpectedly during the off-season. Chaitra and Baishak are the months when rhododendrons bloom. Forests adorned with brilliant red rhododendrons along the way were making the journey even more enchanting. Traversing those colorful forest paths, we reached Tashigaon. After descending from there, I arrived at Upper Uling. While observing the cardamom plantations, we decided to have our packed lunch at Upper Uling, a small but peaceful settlement. After resting for a while, we headed down towards Lower Ulingat. A camp was set up in the fields of Lower Uling. The management team began pitching tents in the fields, while the kitchen team set about organizing the meals. Today was also the eve of the Nepali New Year. A cultural fair was organized by a local club on the premises of Uling School. We also participated in that program for some time. The local community invited the foreign guests, in particular, onto the stage and welcomed them respectfully. After our regular breakfast, we set about preparing for the journey again. After passing the neat little village of Ala, separated by a small ravine, our steps began the ascent towards Dadhakara Hill. A beautiful park has been constructed here, featuring various pillars that reflect the cultural identity of the Yamfu Kirat community. One has to make a long descent from Dadhakara Danda to the Kasua Kola. After crossing the suspension bridge over the Kasua Kola, we headed up the arduous ascent to Czechad, observing various species of orchids and other rare plants along the way. After traversing a long and exhausting uphill climb, we finally reached Czechad, situated at an altitude of approximately 2,000 meters above sea level. Czechad is a key resting point for travelers heading to Makalu Base Camp via Num and Sedua. It was decided that our camp for today would also be here. We left Czechad around 8 a.m. After Czechad, Tashigaon is another major campsite for travelers coming from Sedua. As for us, having set out from Czechad, we plan to reach Dadhakara after a brief rest at Tashigaon. The Himalayan regions are predominantly inhabited by Buddhist communities. On this journey too, the chortens, mani walls, and mantras in the Sambodha script, carved onto stones encountered along the way, offer a glimpse of that same spiritual culture. This is part of Buddhist culture.
यो बुद्धिस्टहरुको कल्चर हो परम्परा भनौं न यसमा चाहिँ अब यो उहिलेदेखि यो एरियालाई एउटा शुद्धिकरणको लागि पनि गरिन्छ कोही यस्तो मानि चाहिँ पहिरोलाई रोकथाम गर्नलाई पनि मन्त्र राखेर रहन्छ भने यो चाहिँ कोही चाहिँ अब मरिसकेको मान्छेको नाममा पनि यो लाउँछ के.
After leaving Tashigaon, the uphill climb began to reveal its true nature. It was not a journey that could be completed in a single stretch. We kept climbing, stopping here and there to catch our breath and rest our eyes on the surrounding scenery. After some time, we reached Yanglarka. There is a small but well-organized tea house here. A small object nearby drew everyone's attention for a moment. For the first time, we saw a tulum, which serves as a traditional tool for churning. It turned out to be a very interesting experience, not only for us, but also for the foreign guests. I realized once again that new and unique experiences make a journey even more memorable. The journey resumed, admiring the beauty of the flora, medicinal herbs, and Himalayan forests along the way. We reached today's destination, Dadhakara. There are two well-managed tea houses here, run by female trekking guide Lamu Sherpa and mountaineer Nima Dorchi Sherpa. Despite being situated in the midst of a vast forest, Dadhakara, true to its name, is located on a beautiful, open ridge. The weather wasn't completely clear this morning, but it looked somewhat brighter and cleaner compared to yesterday. On this occasion, Lakpa Nurbu Sherpa provided the guests with detailed information about the Bule, which had been cancelled the other day, and the mountains visible from there. Today's destination is Kongma. Since there were no suitable places to stop for meals along the way, the journey began after arranging necessary food and packed lunches early in the morning. By the time we left Dadhakara, the fog had settled right upon our shoulders. There was a continuous cycle of sometimes getting lost in the fog, and at other times pushing forward by piercing through it. At a moment like this, The melodious tune of Bikram's flute was infusing a unique energy into the journey. Even though my body was worn out from fatigue, that melodious music would lighten my mind for a few moments. As the group ascended, the journey continued with the team leader and managing director, Lakpa Sherpa, providing information about the various species of rhododendrons, Himalayan wildflowers, and other plants blooming along the roadside.
Okay, now we are on the way to Makalu Base Camp, just below Kongma. Kongma, 3,300 meters. Yeah. So this is called Daphne. It is a paper-making plants. So the Daphne bark peel out and dried and cooked and make paper. And this is also one kind of rhododendron family.
We felt the first touch of snow even before reaching Kongma. As I stepped onto the layer of white snow accumulated by the roadside, two emotions stirred within me simultaneously, a hint of fear and boundless excitement. This was the sign that the real Himalayan journey had now begun. Stepping on the snow and slowly ascending, we reached Kongma Danda around 5:30 p.m. At that moment, Kongma Danda looked like a settlement carved out of a massive silver statue. Snow-capped hills, hotels nestled against them, and the surrounding tranquil atmosphere create a dreamlike scene. It was extremely crowded here, as it was the peak season for trekking and mountaineering. It turned out to be difficult to find accommodation, but fortunately, we managed to stay at the Shiv View Hotel and Lodge. Another interesting experience here was related to water. Due to the extreme cold, natural water sources had frozen over, so water had to be obtained by melting snow. Such aspects of Himalayan life were a new experience for many of us. This morning felt different from other days. Stepping outside immediately after waking up, it felt as though we were walking upon a vast bed of silver. Moments later, the sun emerged from the lap of the mountains to greet us. Its warmth felt like a wish for the success of our journey. As some porters had to return from Kongma today, the company's managing director, Lakpa Sherpa, and the guest group leader bade them farewell. That moment of farewell became emotional. The melodious tune of Bijay's flute once again resonated through the air, and many lost themselves in it. Now, our actual journey through the snow began. We crossed Kongma Viewpoint and Gongorla Pass with great difficulty. Since our feet kept sinking into the snow, we had to struggle just as hard to cross the ravine in the Sanopokri area. Stopping here and there to drink water and catch our breath, we finally reached Tulodanda. This Tulodanda is also known as Siptola Pass. Tulodanda, situated at an altitude of 4,200 meters, is considered the highest pass of this entire journey. If this large ridge can be crossed successfully, it is considered that a major challenge of the journey has been overcome. From here, one can view mountain ranges in all directions, east and west. Today's final destination, however, is Dopate, situated at an altitude of 3,800 meters. There is still the Tulo Pokri Gorge and the Kekala Pass left to cross. The Tulo Pokri, likened in shape to an elephant, is considered extremely sacred by the local community. According to their belief, this is a manifestation of a nature deity. Therefore, littering in the vicinity is strictly prohibited. There is a belief that the Tulo Pokri was discovered by the Sherpas and the Sanopokri by the Rais. This area, including the Kekala Pass, teems with sheep flocks during the months of Shravan and Bhadra. After spending the entire day frolicking in the snow, slipping, steadying ourselves, and having a great time, we finally arrived at Dobate. The well-appointed hotel here was adorned with white snow this time, yet inside, there was the usual bustle. Shoes soaked from the snow, clothes damp with sweat, and weary faces gathered around the heater, trying to dry off. That authentic scene from the Himalayan journey was truly worth seeing. A blend of fatigue, struggle, enthusiasm, and satisfaction, all rolled into one.
हाम्रो होटलमा 40 जनासम्मको क्यापेसिटी हो खासमा 40 जनाको रुम क्यापेसिटी र सुविधा अब मेनु अनुसार नै पाइन्छ पनि नेपालीलाई अलि नेपालीकै अलि विदेशी भन्दा सस्तो नै रुमहरुको भए पनि सबै कुरामा नेपालीलाई अलि सहज छ.
Preparations for the journey began, as always.
Today we are going to Yanglarka.
Dobate bade us farewell, adorned like a youthful maiden, and draped in a white veil of snow. She gazed at us as she slowly receded into the distance. Now, our steps are descending the long slope towards Mumbuk. According to experts, this is the season when various species of rhododendrons are in full bloom. However, due to unseasonal snowfall this year, many of the flowers are still struggling to bloom. It feels as though nature has shifted its schedule a bit. Observing Himalayan medicinal herbs and diverse flora.
Mountain wild potato. This wild potato. Under there's a big potato, but this is kind of poison potato. Poison.
We descended towards the banks of the Barun River. As soon as the descent from Mumbuk ended, a vast landslide zone began. This turned out to be one of the most sensitive and perilous stretches of the journey, since there is a possibility of rocks falling from above at any moment. Everyone must remain alert and vigilant while moving forward quickly. In such a situation, every step must be taken with caution. After somehow crossing the landslide, the atmosphere once again became calm and enchanting. The beautiful waterfall and greenery of the Barun River made me forget my fatigue. After that, we reached Phematang. It turns out there used to be a very good tea house in Phematang. Unfortunately, however, it was completely destroyed by fire. The charred remains were telling the story of the bustling activity that once existed there. From Phematang, we moved forward, traversing sometimes the right bank and sometimes the left bank of the Barun River. Perhaps because the path was easy, we arrived at Yanglarka before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Situated at an altitude of 3,600 meters above sea level, Yanglarka is an incredibly beautiful area of the Barun Valley. Well-organized hotels, a monastery, and an impressive chorten currently under construction make the atmosphere here even more special. After the afternoon snack, everyone began to enjoy themselves in their own way. Some went out for a stroll, while others enjoyed playing Uno. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Chef Pawan Kulong was busy preparing special dishes for the guests. We were now getting even closer to Mount Makalu. The first rays of the sun began to spread from the summits of Saldim and Sersong peaks, appearing like a small golden aperture opening up. These rays touched the rocky cliffs of Shivadera, Parvati Cave, and the Barun Valley, bathing them in light. Today, I clearly realized that tourists come here from various corners of the world to witness this unparalleled beauty. At exactly 8 a.m., we resumed our journey from Yanglarka. Today's destination is Langmale. Today's trail was more than just a trek. Passing through Shivdhara, Parvati Cave, Ama Bujung, and Ripu Karka, places rich in spiritual, cultural, and natural heritage. We learned many fascinating stories along the way. This region is also home to the rare and highly prized morel mushroom. one of the world's most valuable wild mushrooms. The trail was adorned with countless alpine flowers, including the rare yellow poppy and pink poppy that bloom only once every 6 years, various species of primulas, and the white rhododendrons that blossom on low shrubs, transforming the path into a breathtaking natural garden. On a clear day, Ripuk Karka offers breathtaking panoramic views of Mount Nepu, Chamlang, Pyramid Peak, and Peak 7 all at once. Upon reaching the Tadosa area, we also learned about the region's local spiritual beliefs and ancient legends. Visitors can see the cave where an incarnate Lama is believed to have meditated, the place where his horse was tied, and a rocky waterfall that local tradition says was drawn from Tibet by a thunderbolt. After crossing Tadosa and passing a small landslide section at Yanglarka, we arrived at Langmale. Today, Langmale is home to several newly built lodges, offering better facilities for trekkers, as it serves as the usual overnight stop for most trekkers coming from Yanglarka. Langmale remains lively throughout the trekking season. Today is the most eagerly awaited day of our journey. From Langmale camp, where Mount Nepu feels close enough to touch, we now set off towards Makalu Base Camp.
Yeah,
About
it's a-
Slovenian climbing in Makalu. Yeah,
Yes.
this is very interesting
Yeah.
because 50 years ago,
Yes.
our climbers climbed south face of Makalu. They needed, I think, 2 months to reach the summit, and this was a great success.
Yes.
Excitement, curiosity, and the eagerness to reach our destination were clearly visible on everyone's faces. It had snowed again overnight. The sunpati and Barun shrubs looked as if they were covered in delicate white blossoms beneath the fresh snow. About half an hour's walk from Langmale, the trail reaches a fork in the path. The trail to the left leads to the famous Lam Pokari. This sacred lake is also known by several other names, including Lower Barun Lake and Sedua Pokari. It is a local tradition for every visitor to build a small stone cairn, known as a karang, before leaving this place.
यो ढुङ्गा राखेर चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ केरुङ भन्छ खास केरुङ यसको अर्थ चाहिँ के हो भने यहाँ यो चाहिँ बाटो हो भनेर देखाउने पनि एउटा सिम्बल गर्नु अर्को चाहिँ कोहीले चाहिँ यहाँ पूजा पनि गर्छन् ढुङ्गा थुपार्यो भने पूजा गरेको जस्तै पनि हुन्छ पूजा गरेको जस्तै देउरालीतिर मान्छेहरूले यसरी ढुङ्गा थुपार्यो भने त्यो चाहिँ पूजा गरिराखेको
After visiting Lam Pokari, we returned to the main trail and continued our journey towards Merrick, following the banks of the Barun River. As we reached Sersong Karka, the magnificent southeastern face of Mount Makalu gradually came into full view. There is also a well-maintained tea house here. After climbing a ridge, Makalu Base Camp finally came into view in the distance.
मकालु बेस क्याम्प देखियो यहाँबाट अनि यहाँबाट माथि कुनामा बरुन पोखरी अब अलिकति देखिएको छ यो तल है बरुनको शिर हो अब बरुनको शिर चाहिँ यहाँ अब मान्छेहरू तल बरुन मेलामा नुहाउनु जान्छ नि त्यही भएर बरुनको शिर चाहिँ यो बरुन पोखरी भित्रमा भरे खिच्न सकिन्छ माथि मकालु टप बैग हो मकालु बरुन ग्लेसियर भन्छ
The majestic southern face of Mount Makalu filled everyone with awe and excitement. The feeling that our journey was becoming a success was written across everyone's faces. At last, we arrived at Makalu Base Camp, standing at an altitude of 4,870 meters above sea level. By the time we arrived, some members of our team had already reached the base camp. Hot tea and lunch were ready, warmly welcoming us after the long trek. After the long journey, our weary bodies silently expressed their gratitude for such warm hospitality. After lunch, some relaxed in the open meadow, while others set out to explore the surroundings. We also visited Barun Pokari, the glacial lake located near Makalu Base Camp. Fed by the melting ice and glaciers of Mount Makalu, this lake is the primary source of the Barun River. This place is regarded as deeply sacred. Those who are unable to make the pilgrimage here traditionally offer prayers at the confluence of the Barun and Arun rivers near Gola Bazaar instead. To celebrate our safe arrival at Makalu Base Camp, a special dinner had been prepared for the evening. That evening was more than just a dinner. It was a celebration of a successful journey. The night we spent at Makalu Base Camp, nestled at an altitude of 4,870 meters beneath the world's fifth highest mountain, was already becoming a cherished memory.
आज 20 अप्रिल आज चाहिँ हामी माथि यो मकालु बेस क्याम्पबाट माथिको भ्यू पोइन्ट 5300 मिटरमा जाँदैछौँ। त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ सगरमाथा लोचे मकालुको पूर्वी साइड सबै देखिन्छ। त्यही हेर्नलाई आज भ्यू पोइन्ट जान लागेको।
Before the first rays of sunlight had fully bathed the base camp, after spilling over the mountain peaks, we set out on the final stage of our journey. For most visitors, the journey ends at the Makalu viewpoint, perched at an altitude of 5,300 meters. That is our destination today as well. As we climbed higher up the ridge, Barun Pokhari below and the towering Mount Makalu behind it gradually came together in a single, breathtaking frame. The higher we climbed, the closer Lhotse, Barunse, and the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, appeared. After a steep 2 to 3 hour climb from the base camp, we finally reached the Makalu viewpoint. The view from here is simply beyond words. What a breathtaking sight. Endless snow-capped mountain ranges, towering white peaks, deep valleys, and magnificent glaciers stretched out in every direction. Looking at this breathtaking landscape, it felt as if heaven exists somewhere on Earth, it must be right here. From here, numerous magnificent peaks can be observed all at once. Every direction revealed a new panorama, and every horizon presented a new wonder. For a while, we captured that extraordinary view with our eyes, not only in photographs, but also deep within our hearts. And finally, after reaching the ultimate destination of our planned Makalu Base Camp journey, we began our return journey. With us were countless memories, the lessons of patience taught by the mountains, the experiences of challenges offered by the trail, and the unforgettable joy gifted by nature.